Previously on Smart Mobility Today, we covered stories about aerial mobility, hydrogen power, edible robots, smart cities, and limestone. This week's news focuses on hydrogen trucks, solar-powered planes, finding water on the moon, and automated transit for people with disabilities.
You've got something to say, and we can help you say it. Detroit Media Productions is here for your audio, photography, and video needs. DetroitMediaProductions.com.
Hi, this is Cindy Polakowski. Volvo's truck division is starting on-road tests of hydrogen-powered combustion engines in 2026. By the end of the decade, the vision is that hydrogen will be powering heavy-duty trucks. The move away from fossil fuels toward more green alternatives also represents a challenge to the dominance of EVs. However, trucks utilizing green hydrogen rather than fossil fuels reduce carbon emissions while also offering advantages for long-distance journeys and for travel in regions with limited charging infrastructure, or where the time required for EV charging is more than the trucking companies can afford. According to Jan Hjelmgren, Volvo's head of product management and quality, quote, trucks where the traditional internal combustion engine remains but runs on hydrogen will have the same performance and reliability as our diesel trucks, but with the added benefit of potentially net zero CO2 emissions. The company's energy alternative options are expected to include battery electric trucks, fuel cell electric trucks, and trucks running on renewable fuels such as biogas and hydrogenated vegetable oil. Audi is investing $1 billion in EV projects in the Mexican state of Puebla. This means the creation of 500 new jobs as government officials work with Audi to turn the state into a hub for EV development. Audi Mexico has started installing the infrastructure needed to produce a fully electric car. Audi parent company Volkswagen Group has one plant in Mexico in the Puebla town of San Jose, Chiapa, where it currently employs 5,000 workers. Solar-powered flight is becoming a reality as more and more funding goes into innovation that is expected to produce planes that are very different from today's jet airliners. Now, don't expect to fly in one on your next vacation or business trip, but do look out for more prototyping, including solar-powered flights that operate autonomously. Applications will include surveillance, high-risk travel, emergency operations, or travel through disaster zones. Today, millions are being spent by aviation companies, the military, telecommunication investors, and governments. Eric Raymond, a solar aircraft designer and glider pilot who started experimenting with solar power in the late 1970s, says it's reminiscent of the early days of aviation.
Looking for better ways to manage your IT, phone systems, or remote workforce? Improve your organization using technology that works for you. psntechnology.com.
A Swedish company called PropTech OS has looked at cities in Europe and the U.S. to develop a ranking of the best smart cities overall. The process is based on criteria developed by the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development and is an attempt to assess, quote, civic smartness. The process looks at 16 metrics in 3 categories: connectivity and infrastructure, environmental sustainability, and the local tech job market. An analysis was conducted in April of the 48 largest cities in the U.S. and 23 in Europe. In the U.S., the smartest city of them all is Seattle, Washington, just ahead of Miami and Austin. The world produces about twice as much plastic waste as it did 2 decades ago, and only 9% of that is properly recycled, according to a report from the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development. A company called Glacier is working to change that using AI-enabled robots. The job of sorting through trash is time-consuming and tedious. Based in San Francisco, the company has developed robots that can sift through 45 items per minute, recognize more than 30 different materials, and identify those that are recyclable, getting to the items often missed by human workers. The setup involves a conveyor belt and a robot equipped with AI vision system, and robotic arms that can recognize, pick, and sort items, resulting in a more accurate and completely automated process. NASA is offering money to teams that can develop technology to capture water on the moon. The $1 million contest is managed by the Marshall Space Flight Center and is part of an effort to support human life on the moon. Competing teams met in Huntsville, Alabama at an event focused broadly on overcoming challenges that could impact the future of space exploration. We want to mine water on the moon, according to NASA's Gerald Sanders. Quote, water could be used for many different things, life support, radiation shielding, or making propellants. Robots have been designed that can collect frozen water on the moon. It is as hard as concrete being embedded in regolith, the rock and dust which covers the surface of the moon. So the robots have to be able to mine and collect tough material. In Finland, drone technology using 77 gigahertz frequency modulated continuous wave radar is being tested to see if this Earth-based terrestrial tech has an application in space and on other planets. The FMCW radar is being tested to facilitate entry, descent, and landing on a planetary surface and for in-orbit rendezvous scenarios. We will be right back.
All right, ready. All right, I'm ready. No, that's fine. All right, ready.
More water. I know.
But I can give it a go. Presenting.
Too many. I did.
Hey,
We'll be right back. Makes no sense. Okay.
Freelancers, gig workers, and entrepreneurs are creating the future of work. Subscribe to our weekly newsletter at workshifter.com and follow us at Workshifter on social media.
Finally, some news from my local area. Ford CEO Jim Farley announced that the company's Blue Cruise feature will offer Level 3 autonomy in 2026 vehicles, meaning hands-free driving from Ford in 2 years. Moving to Level 3 autonomy is a big step for Ford in the Blue Cruise system, which currently offers Level 2 autonomy, meaning it can handle most highway driving tasks. In Level 2 vehicles, you can take your hands off the wheel and briefly focus on other things, and the system issues you a warning tone and deactivates if you don't pay attention. But at Level 3 autonomy, you can take a nap. While you are sleeping, the vehicle uses cameras and radar and 3D LiDAR maps to know where you go. Ford says the system will recognize about 97% of highways in the U.S. and Canada. Last week on Lake Michigan, rescuers were participating in a demonstration of new technology that is supposed to help in an emergency. At a beach in St. Joseph, the Emily system was being tested. It's a battery-powered, remote-controlled boat that can be used at beaches for drowning prevention and water rescue. Emily stands for Emergency Integrated Life-Saving Lanyard. In the demonstration, a retired firefighter stood in neck-high water and waved his arms. A few seconds later, the life-saving robot launched from the shore, motored across the lake, and helped the person float until a lifeguard could reach him. The project's goal is to prevent drowning deaths in a large lake that attracts tourists from around the world. In Detroit, an autonomous shuttle service is about to launch, and it's dedicated to serving those with disabilities. The free service using autonomous vehicles is named Accessibility and is intended to serve people ages 62 and over, as well as those with disabilities. The launch involves 3 shuttles, and the service officially begins next week.
Read these stories and more at globalautomobility.com and subscribe to Smart Mobility Today on your favorite podcast platform. Sign up to receive our weekly newsletter and follow us on social media at Smart Mobility Today. Produced by Detroit Media Productions, this is Smart Mobility Today.